the Beatles wrote some great ballads, but what do you think was the first classy, slow love song they did?
Oh, it's got to be This Boy. Just unforgettable, and the way John, Paul, and George would gather around and sing it into the same microphone.
That image it's one of the most enduring snapshots of the early 60s, isn't it?
Yeah.
The three of them, heads together.
Absolutely.
But, when I actually listen to the track now, especially in everything else they were releasing in late 63, This Boy just feels like the odd one out.
How so? In what way?
Well, everything else from that period is just so high octane. It's She Loves You, it's pure adrenaline, it's screaming. This Boy is. It's moody. It's sophisticated. It almost feels like it belongs to a different band. Where did it even come from? Was it just another one they, knocked out on the tour bus?
It's interesting you say that because the reality is even less glamorous. To really understand this song, you have to picture a hotel room in Southport.
Southport, okay. Not exactly the romantic capital of the world.
Definitely not. It's autumn of 1963. The weather's probably miserable. They're all crammed in this room, killing time between shows. But John Lennon wasn't just killing time.
No.
He was on a very specific mission.
A mission? That sounds so calculated. Usually the stories are about them just scribbling lyrics on napkins.
It was calculated. Lennon sat down in that room with a really distinct goal. He wanted to write a song that would force them to use three-part harmony as the absolute centerpiece.
So not just as decoration.
Exactly. He wanted it to be the engine of the whole song.
That's a real shift. Because up to then, they used harmonies to just, thicken the sound.
Right.
Add some power.
Right, like on Twist and Shout, it's just there for punch. Or a bit of sparkle on a chorus. But Lennon wanted to show they could do something intricate. He was trying to step out of that straightforward rock and roll box.
So if he's stepping away from the twist and shout, screaming, what is he stepping toward? This Boy doesn't sound like Elvis. It doesn't sound like Buddy Holly.
No, and that's because Lennon's head was somewhere else entirely. At this time, he was completely consumed by American soul music, what he called black music.
Okay.
And he was studying it with, the intensity of a scholar, the structure, the emotion, all of it.
Was there a specific artist he was chasing?
Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. That was the gold standard for him.
Smokey. Wow. Okay, the absolute master of smooth. I can totally hear that now.
Well, specifically, he'd been listening to You've Really Got a Hold on Me over and over. But he wasn't just trying to copy the melody. He was trying to figure out how Smokey Robinson conveyed vulnerability.
Vulnerability. That's the key word, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because I love Me Do, but I wouldn't call it vulnerable. It's confident.
It's charming. It's a pop song designed to make you smile. But Lennon wanted to capture a specific ache. He was trying to transplant that Detroit soul sound into what they were doing.
That pleading quality.
Yes. That feeling like the singer is confessing a really painful secret, directly into your ear.
A totally different emotional proximity.
That's a great way to put it. It was about closing that gap between the singer and the listener.
So he's in the hotel room. He's got this Motown inspiration. How does he actually build a song? Because the rhythm, it feels almost old-fashioned. Even for 63, it has this real sway to it.
That sway is the secret weapon. It's all about the time signature. They wrote it in 128 time.
Okay, let's unpack that for a second. Most pop music is 44, yeah.
Right. She Loves You, I Want to Hold Your Hand. That's a march. 1, 2, 3, 4. It drives forward.
The double shot of espresso.
Exactly. It makes you want to jump around. But 128 is based on triplets. 1 and a, 2 and a.
I can feel that rolling motion just from you counting it.
It creates a completely different physical reaction. It's a classic doo-wop progression, and it gives the song that swaying lounge ballad feel.
So it immediately signals to the listener, calm down, listen closely.
This is serious.
Yeah.
And it sets the stage for the lyrics, which are also a massive departure.
They really are. This gets to the emotional maturity of the track. Because usually early Beatles lyrics are pretty safe. Boy meets girl. Boy loves girl.
Or maybe boy loses girl, but it's treated very lightly.
Okay, we have to talk about the bridge. Because if the verses are this simmering heartbreak, the bridge is the explosion.
The middle eight. This is where the song shows its true genius. That sequence where the harmony just drops out, the rhythm changes, and John sings solo. Till he sees you cry.
It is so intense. The energy just spikes. It sounds like he's straining every muscle to get those notes out.
It's pure raw pain, but here's the structural decision that always just blows my mind.
What is that?
That bridge only happens once.
Wait, really? Just once in the whole song?
Just once.
That seems wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, usually if you have a huge hook like that, you hammer it home, right? Repeat it 2-3 times.
That's standard pop songwriting 101, yeah.
Yeah.
But the Beatles applied what we could call the scarcity principle.
Explain that.
By giving you this incredible emotional climax only one time, they make it infinitely more valuable. It becomes this precious moment of vulnerability that just flashes and then it retreats.
And they never go back to it.
Never. They return to the gentle three-part harmony of the verse.
That is brilliant. It's like a real emotional outburst. You lose your cool, you scream your pain, and then silence.
Yeah.
You have to pull yourself back together.
That's a perfect analogy. It mimics the physiology of a breakdown. You can't sustain that level of intensity. It leaves the listener wanting more, feeling a little empty, which is the whole point of the song.
So they capture this lightning in a bottle in the studio. But they didn't just leave it there. They took this on the road.
They did. Throughout 63 and 64, this boy was a staple of their live shows.
Which seems insane to me. We've seen the footage. It's chaos. Screaming, jelly beans, terrible sound systems. How do you perform a delicate ballad in the middle of a riot?
With immense difficulty. But they refused to compromise. They would literally cluster around a single microphone on stage, just like in the studio.
It became their visual ritual, didn't it?
It did. You can see the chemistry in those clips. They're leaning in, making eye contact, sharing little inside jokes while they're singing.
It's charming to watch, but technically a nightmare.
Unbelievably difficult. You have to remember, they didn't have monitors back then. They couldn't hear themselves over the fans.
Right. So how did they balance the volume? If John is singing the melody, it needs to be louder.
They did it physically. They had to adjust their distance from the mic in real time.
So the mixing board was their feet.
The mixing board was their feet. If John needed to be louder, he leaned in. If the harmony needed to fade, Paul and George would lean back a couple of inches.
They were mixing with their bodies.
That requires a level of listening and responsiveness that most bands just don't have, especially when they're being deafened by 10,000 teenagers.
It really highlights how incredibly tight they were as musicians.
Their awareness of each other was telepathic. You get that from playing 8 hours a night in Hamburg. That live performance was a flex. It was them showing off.
So when we zoom out, what does this boy really represent in their history?
I think it's a crucial evolution. It proved they could handle adult emotions. Jealousy, regret, complex pain.
It wasn't just bubblegum pop anymore.
No. But beyond the lyrics, it established a really important template.
Which was?
The idea that the B-side didn't have to be a throwaway.
Right. We forgot to mention that. This wasn't even the A-side.
It was the B-side to I Want to Hold Your Hand in the UK. And historically, B-sides were filler. But the Beatles crafted this with the same care and intensity as their hits.
It's a game changer. It told the audience, everything we do matters.
That's the key. It proved that commercial success didn't require artistic compromise. You could have the massive hit on one side and the sophisticated, moody ballad on the other.
It feels like the moment they stopped being just a pop phenomenon.
And started becoming artists. That's it. When you listen to this boy, you're hearing ambition. You're hearing a band unwilling to follow anyone else's rules.
Really is a blueprint.
It is a blueprint for how heartbreak should sound. Intimate, sophisticated, and real.
And to think, it all came from that one cramped hotel room in Southport.
And 15 takes around one microphone. Sometimes the simplest setups yield the most profound results.
A good reminder, really. You don't need a million tracks to make something beautiful. You just need the right people, the right song, and the willingness to stand close enough to feel each other breathe.
And maybe a little bit of heartbreak to inspire it all.
Well, thanks for joining us today. Whenever you feel like knowing more about the Beatles, visit us at BeatlesRewind.com. It's the Beatles, all day, every day, 8 days a week. Cass, we'll do it again tomorrow.
Absolutely. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Until next time.
When you listen.
Your mind conducts its own symphony.